guess you'd like to see the big tamale, huh? Follow me.
Welcome back, everybody, to the VHS Vault. I am one of your hosts, VHS Shows, and next to me is a very patriotic co-host, and Jason Roy Gaston, and he should be patriotic.
America.
Because tonight we are looking at one of the definitive blockbusters of the 1990s, and that is Independence Day.
Woo!
Woo! ID4, as they marketed it as. So.
Oh, my goodness. 1996. You know, there are two films that I think are just promotional juggernauts that we've never seen before, and I don't think we'll see since. And one of them was Batman 89, and the other one, Independence Day, because this, ladies and gentlemen, is how you sell what is, at its heart, quite a mediocre movie. But you know what? It's still a lot of fun.
It is. It is probably, I would say, the biggest B-grade blockbuster ever in existence.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the fair kind of assessment. But you talk about the hype of this film, Jace. We were both of age. You know, we were cinema goers. We both would have been adults. The hype machine for this movie was enormous. It was a moment in the zeitgeist, this film, the lead up to this film. You're right. There was nothing like it since 89 Batman. And just brilliant. And this movie, man, it brought in everyone. Everyone was certainly curious to see what this type of film is. And we end up getting a delightful sci-fi fantasy disaster movie.
Delightful and extremely stupid. I mean, let's be honest. This movie is just, as you said, delightful, but at the same time, it is so incredibly dumb. But I think it knows that it's dumb, and it embraces that dumbness with both arms and just gives it a big, tight hug. And it's just, I honestly do not understand how hollow and snooty of a person you have to be to look at Independence Day going, oh, it's the common movie for the masses, not for me. There's something in this movie for everybody. Even through the cheese, I think that there's something for everybody. And, arguably, this is the film that made Will Smith a superstar. Slapped him across the face with fame.
Without question. He'd earned a little bit of buzz off of a movie called 6 Degrees of Separation. A little kind of indie film, but he got a lot of buzz behind that. But this was his first, excuse me, it made him an instant A-level star. I mean, this guy, as soon as this movie comes out, and then you double up with Men in Black the year after, he was untouchable. He was the it guy. And he certainly...
Yeah, I remember watching the last episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and the way that he was introduced at the end during the last curtain call was, and here's Will Smith, the star of the upcoming Independence Day. And everybody went nuts. Everybody's like, Independence Day! They loved it.
They knew what they had. And I have a lot of love for this film too, because I also think it's one of the last great non-IP blockbusters we've had.
It is.
If you think of any blockbuster film in the last 20 years, coming up to 30 years, let's be honest, Avatar. That's your only one, isn't it? Good call on that. That is a good
Titanic.
Call. But it's overwhelmed. I don't want to count Titanic. I know it's a global.
You have to count Titanic.
I don't consider it a blockbuster film in that genre.
It was literally a world record holder.
Yes, it made a lot of money, but I would say as a film, I look at that as James Cameron is a genius. But, I don't put it in the same basket as a Men in Black or a Independence Day or a Matrix.
It is a masterpiece.
Titanic is a very good film. It just doesn't resonate with me.
We're putting it on the show.
Well, that's fine.
It's going on the show. 2026, be here and watch Jason go down on the Titanic. Full of semen. Wow, this is really going the wrong way.
Look, either way, this is very unique for its time, and it certainly said it. You talked about cheese, though, Jason. It's the cheese in this film that holds the film together. This film doesn't work without the cheese because we are given such big concepts that are handled very simply. We need that cheese to keep the audience kind of engaged. And that means archetypes and stereotypes. That means dumb plot points. That means you name it. I'm out of focus.
It's all right. I don't remember you ever being in focus. Hold up. Has your camera fixed? Oh, God dang. Is that what you look like? Oh,
yeah, that's what I really look like. Yeah.
I love any movie. I love any movie where the main title explodes. Anytime I'm about to see a movie and the title just goes boom, I'm just like, yes, this is going to be great. Armageddon, Independence Day, we need more exploding titles.
It's funny because it functions almost like two films in my mind, because the first half of the film is set up very much like a disaster movie. It is a disaster movie. We meet our characters. There's a massive disaster. We then see the aftermath of trying to save people. But then this film just takes it to that next level, doesn't it? It becomes beyond that. There's a response, and the last half of the film is the response. So yeah, I mean, would you put it in the disaster realm? In that realm, would you say this is the disaster film like Towering Inferno or Earthquake or Airport or anything like that?
I would definitely say that there are aspects of a disaster movie, especially in that first half. But I think this is more of a chimera of a disaster movie and a science fiction movie and a war movie all together, and just with a big smattering dollop of patriotism on the top of it. How can you hate this movie?
And unlike Justice League, where I complain it had 4 hours to tell that story, Independence Day has a lot to say and a lot of plot to get through in that 2.5 hours, which I sent you a text groaning about that. But in practicality, this movie moves like it's an hour 40, hour 50. It really has pace.
Yeah, it's definitely deals with a lot. And honestly, I don't really think that people give it a lot of credit, because a frankly gigantic ensemble cast like this is not easy to balance. And I think Independence Day does it very well, because I mean, you got Randy Quaid, the crazy man, and his kids, future what's his name? Levitt, G. Gordon Levitt. I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah.
And then you've got Will Smith, and then you got the president, and then you've got Bill Pullman. Yeah, you've got all these different characters, and it's just juggling them all.
And
it never drops the ball. It's always just like, everybody gets equal time. Everybody gets this. Everybody gets that. It's done very well, and I can definitely tell you, if you've ever seen the extended version of this movie,
I have.
They have cut out a lot of stuff that is, quite frankly, laughable. So you've seen the whole, I can't believe I'm going to die a virgin. Then we'll both die as virgins. Oh, God, even so thinking about it right now. It is. Honey, you're 12. Yeah. You shouldn't be, no. It should be, I wish I had my dolly, not, I wish I could get laid. No, I don't, this ain't Arkansas. We ain't doing that.
Look, hey, you're talking about the characters, and like, there's a lot of characters. I think what's really smart in this too is everybody gets a purpose. Like, I feel like when they do have these multiple characters, each has a definitive function, although may make stupid decisions. It works, you know what I mean? With Randy Quaid's character being ultimately the most tragic out of it, because here's a guy who has become an alcoholic, a waste of his life, and he has a few moments of sobriety, and then sacrifices himself ultimately for humanity. So there's a lot of tragedy in that. Even though it's all wrapped in cheddar cheese, it's still there, those messages,
Yeah, I do have questions, though. So Randy Quaid basically goes crazy and gets all this trauma because he was kidnapped by aliens and experimented on. but they never like break out any biological weapons or anything. So it's like, did they just mess with him? Is that it?
Stick one of those tentacles up there. Who knows? Who knows?
Let's play with this one for a while. He's funny.
I also got a comment as an Australian. I feel like this represents to the ideal of what America could be. Like, even as an Australian, when I hear Bill Pullman do that rousing speech at the end, even though I know it is not a great speech, but his delivery, it is the rousing, and it shows the best of what America could be. And I think this is what this film does really well. It shows us, the fact that Americans will never go down, and they're there for the people, and all these great messages from America that I don't think if you said Independence Day today, maybe everyone wouldn't be getting so rousy altogether. But I do. I really think it does represent the best of America, what America can be.
Nowadays, somebody would get up there and say, "We've got to stop the aliens," and somebody in the audience go, "Well, can you define what an alien is?" Then Elon Musk could be over there in the back, doing this to the sky. I'm not really doing this. I'm doing something else. I'm sending my heart out to them.
Holding the sign on top of that building in LA. He's that kind of.
Shoot that one. Shoot him. Nanu, nanu.
I also was struck by the lack of, even when we do get quiet moments in this film, and there are a couple of quiet moments, it never takes it too far. It never allows the film to sit in that mire before you're cutting to something else going on, which I think is also really great. I was impressed with the special effects. Mm-hmm. So I'm going back and I'm looking at a film that's nearly 30 years old. So clearly I'm programmed to expect it's not so great. But why I was struck mostly, Jason, and you would know this, this film uses some CGI, but it is not dependent on CGI.
No.
Which I think is fantastic. In fact, the apocalyptic shots that we get when the ships fire the beam, all those fire effects were real models, we can tell. But wow, were they great. Like, really good.
How does this movie look better than its sequel?
Yeah, that's nuts. Great question, because the CGI in that sequel is just horrible. Here we have
we're gonna have to do the sequel.
We will.
Independence Day 2026.
Yeah,
because I've seen that sequel. I've seen that sequel once. I watched it. I threw up. I purged my memory, and that was it.
It's like Tubi made an Independence Day movie, and I love Tubi. Tubi, find me on YouTube. But yeah, it really does. But this film, that the moment where they go to attack the mothership, all those jets, and we get into a really cool dogfight where they get just completely slaughtered. And you think to yourself, yeah, some CGI was in that, but there's other like old optical effects being used. There's models they've just got a mixed bag in there. It's my favorite type of use of special effects, where you just use everything at your disposal to try to get the best shot. And it does, The ships, how intimidating are they? I think
they're great.
You've got to give it up to how, even in the opening when they come over the moon, you feel that threat immediately. And
I understand. And I was going to add to what you said about the model shots. About this same time, we got this delightful little movie that so many people did not get the first time they saw it, called Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers, also being a movie that is just wash with cheese, has got some of the most beautiful spaceship shots in it that have ever been put to film. Yeah. And it's all practical models enhanced by CGI. And I really think if you want something to look great, that's how you do it. You have something real and physical, and you just enhance it. I don't know. It just seems like CG is just... And it's not me being resistant to new technology. CG is here to stay. I get that. I get that it's got some advantages.
Oh, yeah.
At the same time, I miss physical models the same way I miss 2D animation.
Yeah.
I just think that there's just something special about it.
I do too. There's a tactile feature about it, isn't it? You feel that it's real. It's just that's the way with technology, you know. I mean, you could use the example of, well, if you look at, say, Star Wars, all practical, then you go to the Phantom Menace, all digital, then you get to the Force Awakens, which is a mix of both, and you can clearly say that's where they found their balance with that. David Fincher, a director who I absolutely adore, uses CGI a lot. No one ever notices it, but he's smart. He uses it for backdrop, like when he was filming Zodiac. You know, he had to recreate a 1970s San Francisco.
Oh, it was brilliant. Yeah,
it was brilliant and done with CGI because he knew how to use it. So, yeah,
the best special effects are invisible. I remember Robert Zemeckis said that in a documentary about Forrest Gump, because obviously there are some special effects shots in Forrest Gump where he's talking to
the feather.
Yeah, the feather, and whenever he's talking to Kennedy. But there are some CGI shots in there that I didn't realize, like the ping pong balls. Whenever they're playing the ping pong balls are all CGI. And he just said it was easier to do it this way.
So thankfully, time hasn't, and just great special effects doesn't take it out of this film. So that's a big kudos, isn't it? The fact that they've been able to make effects and still hand up 30 years later is pretty great. Look, honestly, the time when the movie does take its turn, and buoyed by a wonderful, although brief, performance by Brett Spiner, who's just smiling the moment he comes on screen. But he is used as that key point of, okay, now we're dealing with the response. We need to know what the hell's happening, what this is all about. And I think it's great. Yeah, I wish he was still around. That's you know what I mean?
Brent Spiner?
No, the character. Hang on, Resurgent. Was he?
He was in the sequel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's that forgettable. Forgot about
it. It was that. Here's the legacy character that died in the first movie, but now he's back. Look, you can see his butt now. Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
I love Brent Spiner, but man, you could definitely tell that he was just not feeling it for that sequel.
I don't think
why am I still alive? God. Next thing you know, they're going to be bringing Data back.
Yeah, well, like, he was great in a and then obviously the battle at the end is ginormous. It's kind of epic, and it hits the right notes in regards to. It was one of those movies where people are cheering at the end of it.
Oh yeah,
it is such a rare gift to get a film to get any reaction at a movie, let alone people clapping and cheering at the end. So it's people slag a lot on this film, and I go, well, when's the last time you've seen it? Like, are you just reacting because you have a memory of it? When's the last time you sat down and watched the film? And I challenge most people who like movies not to find themselves engaged, even if you're walking past the room and sitting down. This is one of those films that draws you in. What can I say? I am in love with this film. I think it deserves a higher rating in people's mindsets than it is. Yes, it's cheesy. I like cheesy. And I think it gets a massive pass, Jason, because it knows what it is. It's not trying to pretend to be something, and it isn't. It knows what it is.
Oh, no doubt. And I also think we would be remiss without mentioning the absolutely incredible score that was composed by David Arnold, because I love musical scores that have themes for the good guys and themes for the bad guys. You know, like Star Wars is a great example of that. You know, you got dun 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 dun, and then over here on the good side you have dun 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 dun. And here you just have this. You have this very dark and bass-filled theme for the aliens, and then you have this very patriotic and just absolutely beautiful score for the heroes. And it's just it is one of my favorite musical score soundtracks. Like, I will put it in some days and just listen.
Known for Bond films. He did 5 Bond films, so he come from the Broccoli kind of legacy. And it's appropriate if you think Bond You have certain themes for heroes and the villains and the action shots and all that. He was perfect for it. And he did do Stargate as well prior to this.
Which is also great score.
A great score. The only thing I kind of enjoy from that film. Sorry, Mr. Gibbons, but that's the truth.
Yeah, you didn't enjoy the child murder at the end?
No.
Because I kind of dug it.
Oh, I've given you my thoughts on that film, which everybody can watch on this channel. Yeah, so no, look, it's great music. Just the epic scale of it is great. The color of it, I just like it. It's just everything screams American movie blockbuster. It is. If someone said to me, "Can you describe what type of blockbuster films come from America?" I've never seen one. I'd show them Independence Day. That's what they're capable of. And I mean that with love, you know. Yeah. So I would have always loved to have seen like the Russian version. You know how they did the Russian version of Rambo and stuff? I wanted to see the Russian version of Independence Day.
See, I think that would have been perfect sequels for this. Is just same alien attack, but different parts of the world.
Oh my God,
you know,
that would have been amazing.
Well, like do one based in Europe and England,
yeah,
do one
England
based in
first.
Australia, do one based in Africa. That was one thing about the sequel that I really, really liked, was that they said that, you know, they had Africans fighting the aliens at one point, but you know, it was all like, yes, this happened way back in 1996, and I was just like, that's the movie I want to see.
Yeah,
I want to see that like they're doing with Predator. You know, I just want to see like I want to see the Chinese fighting the aliens. I want to see the aliens in Mexico. You know, I just wanted to see that.
Oh well, the Australian one would be, what the bleep is that? And then we go, I'll go back to the pub.
Yeah, well, you know, it would be the giant alien manhole parks itself over Sydney, and like 20 huntsmen jump on it, and they just decide to fly away. Like, oh God, get us away from this planet! What is this? We went down there and a snake bit me, and my entire family lineage died. What is this place? It's okay. Quick, get in the water. We'll be safe. Oh my God!
Mate, if the spiders don't kill you, the wombats will crush you with their butts.
Oh, I learned that. I sent that to you. I sent you that video. I was like, I had no idea. I thought they were making it up, so I actually like fact checked. I was like, they're wombats kill predators with their ass.
You could
That's amazing.
At their butts, and it would bounce off. It's like, I don't know. You know,
they will twerk predators to death. And I'm sorry, that's amazing.
But yeah,
that's what we need a movie about, is Terry the twerking wombat. Terry, stop! I'm dying! Stop! I can't stop! The music's got me!
Yeah, why not? Yeah, maybe we can do an Australian biography about a wombat in World War II and how he saves the troop by crushing Japanese soldiers. That works for me.
The ass that beat the Axis.
Crikey! That's the title of the film. That's the title of the film. Crikey, with an exclamation point.
Axel, the axis crushing ass.
Well, Independence Day. I don't know. You know, I feel like this is not a long chat, because all I got to say is any criticism I have on this film is like slapping the simple-minded kid, at school. It's not appropriate. Not appropriate. You don't do it. It's punching down. That's what I'm trying to say, Jace. Beating up on this film is punching down.
It's okay to punch down a little bit, and I will say it again. This movie's dumb.
It's dumb.
Independence Day is dumb as hell, but at the same time, it's fun as hell at the same time. So it cancels each other out. And it's a delightful, dumb, put it this way. It's fun, so dumb movie.
It's so dumb and so smart in its execution. I'm rooting for the survival of a stripper's dog. That's what this film is capable of doing.
The dog must live.
It must live.
Boomer must live. I don't know if you watch Nostalgia Critic, but that was his running gag for a while. Is Boomer must live. Right, I just love the fact that these people are just hundreds of thousands of people are getting vaporized by this wall of fire. And the only life form that I cared about was that dog. Like, oh yeah, everybody else can burn, but that dog has got to live. Live, damn you, live.
You know how she said at one point that she was hoping that Will Smith would be the dad to the kid? I'd be rethinking that, because if I remember correctly, at the beginning of this film, when he's bailing, he's been caught in. As a parting gift, he gives the kid a bag of fireworks. That kid is barely 4. And hands him, here's some fireworks.
I haven't seen parenting that irresponsible since since Planet Death. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know.
All right.
Here, Timmy, hold this. Mommy will be right back. Oh no, Timmy.
So yeah, and what you don't really like. Okay, here's one weakness of it: the stripper and the president's wife didn't care much for any of that. That they could have extracted that storyline, I think, and I think I would have been okay with it, because her death scene's like, man, whatever.
I didn't mind it. I actually thought that was a pretty. I don't know. I thought her death scene and the scene that came after it were actually very touching. So I say leave it. Yeah. Besides, it's.
Well, there you go. That bit of cheese was good for you. Maybe I got a hard bit of cheese there. I coughed that little bit up.
Gross.
But everything, isn't it? You know, the other thing, when I was watching this, I was going, man, I miss Randy Quaid. I can't help but think I miss that dude.
Yeah, whatever happened to Randy Quaid? Let me look that up. Oh my God! What the heck?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, because he was a great performer and he was really good in that film. But so was everyone. Bill Pullman, who's a really great actor, known for a lot of serious independent fare, man, you know, and also wacky comedies like Spaceballs. He's a great president. He's the president we need now.
Yes. Oh, I would vote on him. No, there were lots of great names in this. Okay, I'm just going to name off a few randomly, just who appeared in this movie. First of all, Vivica A. Fox, Mary McDonnell, who I think is a fantastic actress. The great Harvey Fierstein, who has one of the greatest "I'm dead and I know it" moments in this movie. Just crap.
What did he say? I gotta call my mother. I gotta call my brother. I gotta call my lawyer.
Gotta call my lawyer. I forget my lawyer. I'm gonna mispronounce this guy's name, but he's a great character actor. Robert Loggia. Such a great character actor. That was the one emotional moment I had during the sequel, was whenever he made his cameo. I was like, oh, Robert. Adam Baldwin is in this movie.
Yeah.
Just like, what are you doing here? For a little bitty while, yeah. But yeah, there's just all kinds of great talent here, including some people who went on to be great talents. It's fantastic. I love it. I love every bit of it.
You look at Will Smith, right? We know what happens with him. He gets Independence Day, and then he moves on to Men in Black. But there was another actor in this film who also had a great couple of years, was Jeff Goldblum.
Oh yes,
who is really good in this film.
He did. He had.
He had this, and then he had The Lost World, which here's another contrary. I love The Lost World. I love The Lost World.
I actually think that's the worst Jurassic Park / World movie.
Number 3.
No. No, everybody who says, the 3 is the worst one, I'm just like, did you see The Lost World? Did you see the one where it took them almost an hour and 15 minutes before you saw a dinosaur?
Yeah, I liked it. I dug it. I dug.
I've lost all respect for you.
Nah, well, you know, you like the Titanic, so what can we say?
I will say, this movie contains one of the greatest cinematic paradoxes of all time.
Ooh,
and it has to do with the X-Files. Because in this movie, whenever we are first introduced to Harvey Weinstein's character, Harvey Fierstein's character, I'm sorry, you hear one of the cable operators talking, saying, yes, we'll try to have the signal fixed as soon as we can. Yes, ma'am, I love the X-Files too.
Files too, yes.
However, if you saw the X-Files motion picture called Fight the Future, I think it was called.
Yep. Came out the following year.
Yep. Yeah, it came out the year afterwards. Mulder gets drunk at a bar and goes outside and takes a pee in an alleyway. And it's revealed as kind of a joke that he's peeing on an Independence Day poster. Now, let me ask you something. If the X-Files exists in the Independence Day universe and Independence Day exists in the X-Files universe. How is that possible? It's not possible. It's a cinematic paradox.
In all likelihood, dude, it's just them. The filmmakers just sending a nod to each other, and you've taken what? This is canon. My brain is broken. But
it came out that Chris Carter actually hates Independence Day and wanted to have Mulder piss on an Independence Day poster.
I think Chris Carter maybe. And I respect for what he did in the 90s with the X-Files, but it's a completely different film. In fact, you could almost argue it's it's dealing with aliens, but it's a different genre. This is
I will also say that I would much rather watch Independence Day than those stupid alien episodes that the X-Files got mired down with.
Yeah,
ooh, it's mythology. I don't give a damn. Get over it. Show me more Jose Chung's from outer space. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. I don't care about black goo aliens. Ugh.
Yeah, I must admit I would groan a little bit at some point with the aliens, but I also was in with it because I knew the movie was coming up and the movie was dealing with it, which is a film we should talk about at some point because that's an interesting film in its own right. I'm not saying it's great. I'm just saying it's interesting. But yeah,
it certainly exists. Yes.
Does this film now suffer from the legacy of the sequel? Does this film, do you think, suffer the?
No, I don't think it does.
Horrible. I can't even say the words on the show that I want to say about Resurgence, but
I like to call it
a stain on the franchise.
Independence Day regurgitation is what I call it. It is
revulsion. I call it revulsion.
I don't think that the original folk suffers because of the sequel, because no one, like literally no one, thinks about the sequel. It's almost like the sequel never. Yeah, it's almost like the sequel never happened.
That's trauma blocking, is it?
It is trauma blocking, and you know what? That's fine. That's
like
perfectly fine.
You're going to have this breakdown where you remember scenes from the film.
There was a big white ball and it was friendly and they shot it.
It's a
that happened in that movie.
Just jump on the sequels early for this. Like, it took 20 years to make something just horrible. But I think that was because they wanted other films to, they were moving into Godzilla and the things like that. See, which is the exact same team that did Stargate, Independence Day, and Godzilla. I mean, it's the same. God. Everyone.
The American Godzilla was so bad.
Bad.
Like it was just the same. It was like high cheese and stupidity, but it was like they took the stupidity of Independence Day and took it from a 6 to a 13.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was unwatchable.
I've always said,
talk about it sometime.
If they'd made that film and actually made the Godzilla the traditional design, I think that would have added that one extra layer of cheese that actually would have helped the film quite a lot. But the characters in that film are just unlikable. They're supposed to be likable, but I just don't like them.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the raptor scene, which is literally them ripping off a scene from Jurassic Park, that film is just a blah.
Yeah. My favorite bit of the 96, was it 96? I don't know, 98, 99 Godzilla.
Yeah, 98 Godzilla. 98.
Yeah, was the fact that Toho canonized it. And like that creature exists in the mainline Japanese Godzilla universe. Only it's not really Godzilla. They call it Zilla. Because it's a creature that's like Godzilla, but wasn't Godzilla. So they hear this about this attack in New York City, like, that couldn't be Godzilla. Godzilla's over there. And Zilla ends up fighting Godzilla. And the fight literally lasts like 10 seconds. And it's basically like Japan just giving a big middle finger to the Roland Emmerich Godzilla, and it's fantastic.
I didn't mind the animated series. I actually thought the animated series was better than the movie Godzilla.
I've heard it's good. I never had a chance to watch it. I will have to watch that on Saturday and His Amazing Friends.
Yeah, Godzilla.
Why not? Why not?
It's not what it does. It tries to build upon a story because that film is just very simple and stupid, and I don't want to talk about that film anymore. I would rather us finish up talking about this wonderful film, Independence Day, and Wonderful is like, I mean, to me, it's an odd film in the blockbusters of the 90s because to me, there's three major, maybe four major titles that define the 90s blockbuster. And I think you'll agree with me. Jurassic Park being one.
Yes.
All right. You would put this maybe, and this is not in order of rankings, just me naming them. Second one, Independence Day. The Matrix. You have to throw The Matrix in there, 99. And fourth one, even though we will maybe talk about this film one day, The Phantom Menace. They're probably the four biggest films of that decade. And honestly, is it better than The Phantom Menace? I'm going to be honest with you, and this is a tease. It's not, but gee, it's easy to have fun with this one.
I think it's fun to have. Okay, well, we will have to talk about the Phantom Menace. I'm a Phantom Menace defender.
Yeah, well, I am too. I said it's not as good as the Phantom Menace. I think the Phantom Menace, although it has significant issues, there's still a really great film in this. Out of those four movies, this is actually the most B grade and probably weakest plot and that out of all of them. But man, it shines as brightly as those other films in the 90s. And certainly I'm glad. It was about 10 years since I'd last seen this. Around the time of Resurgence, I think I watched this before that. But wow, yeah, I'm just thrilled to know even 30 years coming up on this anniversary, this film works on every level, doesn't feel dated. The effects hold up. Characters are fun. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I honestly cannot imagine. I can't even fathom not enjoying this movie on some level or another because it's a spectacle. It's got ridiculous action in it, but at the end of the day, it's uplifting. And I think that is what this movie has for it, is that it is uplifting. It has this great message of cooperation and peace in it. And, kind of, even though the world is completely destroyed at the end of this movie, that's kind of a world I want to live in, is where we all come together and we have defeated a common enemy. And I find that very appealing. Plus,
it's a beautiful message.
You're gonna find a house pretty cheap. It's gonna be like right after the Thanos snap. The lines at Disneyland are gonna be very short, if you know what I'm talking about.
That is so true. That is so true.
Oh no, they destroyed Detroit. No, they never stopped by Detroit. That's what Detroit always looks like. That's my favorite joke from Scary Movie. From Scary Movie 4. It's just, here's Detroit. This is Detroit. And now this is Detroit when the aliens attacked, and it looks the same.
Yeah. Detroit are always butt of jokes, aren't they? Detroit always. And
it's really not as bad as it used to be. They've bounced back, but everybody keeps making those jokes because they're an easy target now. And I'm sorry, Detroit. I'm sorry. You guys are not as bad as everybody says you are, but we're still going to make fun of you.
Do you know this wasn't the only space invasion movie of this year? There was supposed to be another blockbuster. Like, in essence, if people were betting, they were probably betting on the other man's invasion movie in Mars Attacks, which came out later the same year. Yeah, which obviously didn't do well at the box office. I think the general audience didn't get it. I adore the film. I adore it.
It's fun. It is
fun.
I admit I didn't get it the first time I watched it because that was stupid. And I'm like, well, it was supposed to be stupid. That's the point. Yeah. It's
like a mad world with aliens in a way. It's that kind of level, kind of comedy, which I think is wonderful. But, mate, it didn't come close to this juggernaut. And this thing wasn't even just a juggernaut in theaters, which at only a $75 million budget. Right?
Really?
That's probably only $75 million at the time.
Wow.
Grossed $817 million at the box office. This thing is beyond. Yes, exactly. It made money. That's why I'm shocked we never got a sequel so quickly after. Because that money, return on investment on that thing, that puts it up into the top tier of money-making films,
Yeah, there was
comparatively to the budget and the return.
I remember hearing about the treatment for the sequel way back before the turn of the century, and I remember it was so many years has passed, and the world has taken alien technology and has supplemented their own, and all of a sudden they see another city ship coming towards the planet, and so they send all of our new ships up there to go engage it, and they're all wiped out.
Yeah.
Like within seconds, and that's like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, that sounds fun. And they basically took the remains of that and made Resurgence with it.
Yeah.
But apparently the one thing that was keeping them from making the sequel was Will Smith.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because he was refusing to do it, or because he just had so much on his plate and he couldn't devote the time to it, or they weren't paying him what he thought he was worth, which he was worth a lot at the time. I'm definitely going to say.
Yeah.
But apparently Will Smith was the one thing that would not fall into place, and I guess they just thought, okay, well, we're done waiting for him. Let's go do our movie, and they did it. And Will Smith is sitting at home going, ha 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 ha.
Yeah. Well, he would have had. They would have had to do a complete rewrite and everything else. He wasn't open to it creatively for many years because he was the supreme A-level star. But in the 2010s, that star started to fade. And I'm not talking about the Oscar thing, the quality of films he was in. I mean, dude, he's made 3 Brad Boys movies. Like, he's happy to go back.
West.
Yeah, the Wild West. Well, yeah, that was his
terrible
first armor.
Terrible movie.
Chink of his armor for sure. And then obviously after films like After Earth, which he was horrible in. What else was recent? And he was just averaging.
He was trying to do so many Oscar bait movies there.
Yeah, there was that movie he made where he fights against his younger self. That was made.
Oh, Gemini Man.
Yeah, which was a dud. Like right now, if someone came to him and said, "Do you want to be in an Independence Day sequel?" he'd be far more open to it today than he would have been before. But that's a shame because that's where they're stupid. Because Will Smith was not the star of that film. He was one of the performers. He stood out the most. But that film isn't dependent on him in every frame of this film. So that's the mistake they made,
Quite honestly, I would even debate if he stood out the most, to be honest, because he was kind of that generic action hero. But I would say that he did well, but I would say like the standout was Randy Quaid. He was the one I wanted to see more in the movie because I wanted to see his redemption story.
Because in a way, it's very similar in some ways to his character from Christmas Vacation. And I don't think there's much changing from that. And that is a good instinct to kind of bring that similar character into the... Like he was driving around a van. At no point did he pull up somewhere and goes, where's he wants to empty the shitter. Like, it's never said.
Merry Christmas! The shitter's full.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, very cool. Oh, well, there you go. Independence Day. Boom. We've knocked it out. And in time for the most important day of the year for American, July 4th, you'll be able to watch this on that day. Correct, Jason?
Right. Happy Independence Day, everyone. And make sure that you leave bullets out for America Claus tonight, Uncle Sam. And he'll leave some... I don't know. He'll leave some guns in your stocking or something. I don't know. America. He'll leave bacon and guns in your stocking.
America.
Yeah,
there you go. All right. Now, coming up, Jason, obviously we've been doing some really big blockbusters.
Indeed.
But I wanted you to mention this new retrospective series they're about to undertake.
Yes, and this one is by request from one of our wonderful Patreons. We've never done a retrospective request from a Patreon before. We can't do them as often as we do the regular requests, but as soon as they mention this one, we're like, yes, we're doing this. It's 4 films, and it stars a delightful comic book hero. We just got done doing a comic book hero. We got to do another one. It's okay because this one is this one likes cats, and he's cuddly and he's friendly, and he's just an awesome guy. Ladies and gentlemen, for episode 99 of the VHS Vault, we will be looking at Hellboy, starting off our next franchise retrospective.
The 2002 Hellboy or 4 Hellboy, I think it was.
It's I don't know, the first Ron Perlman Hellboy.
I think 2004. Then we get the sequel, and then we go into David Harbour's, and then the other guy.
I haven't seen the one from the other guy, so that'll be a first. That'll be a first.
Yeah, but it'll be fun to go back to this franchise. Not something we've ever really talked about much, but I, especially those first 2 films, man, love them. Yeah. But do I still love them? We'll find out.
We will find out. Now, I know what you're all wondering. If that's episode 99, what is episode 100? Mm-hmm. Well, I will be happy to tell you what we have cooking up for episode 100 later. You're going to have to tune in and find out later. But I will say it's a classic. It's very, very classic.
Well, all I got to say is if you're jumping onto this podcast now, you, over the next 12 to 18 months, not only have you got an amazing array of films that we've reviewed you can go back and watch, but I'm calling it, Jade. The next 18 months, we are going to be talking about some of the greatest, most epic films that we all know and love, as well as some just amazing hidden gems. It's going to be
literally have a U of A Bowl movie coming up.
Oh yeah!
What the hell are you even talking about?
Exactly.
I intentionally put bad movies on this show.
Yeah.
One, because I think they're fun, and 2, I know it makes you die a little bit on the inside.
Oh yeah, but look, mate. Again, I do a whole podcast where all I do is talk about bad movies. So I love it. I'm in. I'm down for this. I can't wait. Jason, tell the guys how they can become a part of the madness, which is the VHS Vault.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to contribute to the VHS Vault, Jason Watches The Power of J Skull, Breaking Wind, Double XL Men, or any of the fun-filled, family-friendly entertainment on this channel, please check the video description below and become a patron on Patreon for as little as $5 a month or more. You can support the madness. You can also become a YouTube channel member. Either way, you get videos early, you get exclusive videos. Oh my goodness, the things you get. You don't want to miss. So please, become a Patreon. We like money. We want your money. Give us your money.
All right, guys, that's it for the VHS Vault. We will see you next time.